yourself, is this food healthy at the grocery store? A food label is the perfect place to start. I'm going to explain how to read and interpret a food label. Going into my sophomore year, I chose nutrition as my CTE focus. I'm nowhere close to a nutritionist, but after researching this topic, I can teach others my knowledge. A lot of information can be inferred from this, and that is the serving size and ingredients, 5 to 20% guide, and the footnote regarding a 2,000 calorie diet. And at the very top of the food label is the recommended serving size, and at the bottom of the food label is the ingredients. I will be using the food label on the side of the cereal box since I think many people can relate. So if we look here, on the side of this cereal box, it's 140 calories per a 2,000 calorie diet. According to FDA.gov, they recommend to ask yourself, how many calories am I consuming? The serving size and the calories per person is different each day. It depends on your lifestyle. So if we took an athlete, for example, they're gonna have to eat more, so they would, let's say, take 2 servings of this cereal, which would be 2.5 cups. Although they have to multiply each of the following nutrients, like total fat, cholesterol, sodium, total carbs, by 2 to get the certain amount of each nutrient they are consuming. Next, ingredients play a huge part in understanding what the food specifically has in it. So if we took, or heart.org states the ingredients is listed in order of quantity. For example, if we took salsa and tomatoes are first in the ingredients, then the salsa mostly contains tomatoes. Furthermore, there are many terms used for sugar and sodium. The more familiar words, the better, because it means less processing. It's important to note the specific food has sugar or sodium because according to Penny Chris Etherton, a professor at Pennsylvania State University and the Departmental Nutritional Sciences, and American Heart Association spokeswoman states that too much sodium can raise blood pressure, increasing risk for heart disease and stroke. Some tips to know is that words ending in OSE in the ingredients means sugar, and words ending with hydrogenated means healthy fat turned to unhealthy. Moving down the food label, we notice many nutrients, but there is a key to understanding the percentages, and that is the 5 to 20% guide. So if you look here, it's these percentages right here. So we can divide these into 2 sections, and that is the get more and get less. FDA.gov recommends to get less than 20% daily value and to get more than 5% daily value. If you're trying to get more of a certain nutrient, you want to get a higher percentage of daily value and vice versa. Food Sense recommends to get more fiber, vitamin A and C, iron, and calcium, but to get less of saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, and sodium. FDA.gov also states, paying attention to these nutrients, specifically calcium, may reduce the risk of osteoporosis, which is a condition that results in a brittle bone as one ages. Finally, at the bottom of a nutrition label, there is a footnote regarding a 2,000 calorie diet. Many people disregard this footnote, and I would be one of them. I didn't know the value this footnote held until I researched this topic. As stated above, it is important to consider your lifestyle. Those considerations may be age, gender, weight, or even your activity level. To get more in depth, your lifestyle can consist of a mom, an athlete, or even a couch potato. These all are very important in considering your calorie limit. Family education concludes the footnote doesn't change from product to product because it is important to show the dietary advice for all Americans, not the information for a specific food. Since the food label is not set to an individual specific calorie qualifications, there are ways to help determine the amount of calories needed. This is when the basal metabolic rate is calculated. So right here, if we look at a man, the numbers are different. If he was 175 pounds, 5'11", and 43, we would put it into this equation, which would be 66 plus 6.23 times 170 plus 12.7 times 71 minus 6.8 times 43 equals about 1,700 calories. And if we used a woman, we'd use different numbers, and if she was 130 pounds, 5'3", and 36 years age, she'd be 655 plus 4.35 times weight in pounds plus 4.7 times the height in inches minus 4.7 times age in years. And with this example, she would come out to about 1,300 calories. To get a more accurate calculation, we want to also multiply it by our activity level, which is here. So if we use the man that we had in the last example and multiplies his exercise by 3 days a week and did 1.55, his calorie limit would be about 2,600 calories. And this equation was provided by everydayhealth.com. In conclusion, after going over serving size, ingredients, 5 to 20% guide, and the footnote regarding the 2,000 calorie diet, you should fully understand how to read and interpret a food label. It's not like reading a book. It gets right to the point to help you make the easy decision whether the food is healthy or not. However, the numbers do carry a little bit of weight since a lot can be inferred from 1 or 2 digits. Now, the next time you go to a grocery store, you can easily read and make a knowledgeable decision about the foods you put into your cart.